Welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today let's talk about
Rick Grimes' last episode, next Sunday night.
Yeah, his last episode. I'm going to turn the volume down on this a little bit before we get pinched, but if you didn't see it, the AMC has a premium app, or I'm sorry, Premiere. I think it should be called Premium, but it's called Premiere, and they show the first opening minutes of every episode so far. It's their preview service, and then someone gets it and then uploads it online. So right now you can watch Rick's opening minutes, and he's trapped where he was injured, and he pulls himself up off it. You got to see it. It's badass. So I'll put links to everything down in the comment box, but from what we know so far, Rick is going to be injured and in and out of it. He's going to get himself back on a horse. He's going to try to lure the herd away. And while he's luring the herd away, he's going to be going in and out of it. Kind of like Tyrese's death, he's going to be hallucinating. And it's Rick. I think they promoted it like Rick coming back home. And I got to say, the fan base was split with the Tyrese death. And I got to say, it's fan service heaven. I love it. I friggin' love it. This image alone, I would love a poster that has the promo image from season 1 and then this image from season 9. That's it. No words, no logos, no nothing. Just the image from season 1 and this image from season 9. Now, obviously, he's going to be going in and out of it with his wound and bleeding out. And in real life, he's luring the herd down a path, down woods. But in his hallucination mind, he's actually going back to Atlanta. And it appears in this trailer, this is a clip of him. It's actually interesting. There's barbed wire there. I wonder if there's symbolism in the show we can pull from that. I mean, there's got to be something. With Negan, they wouldn't just record that in there without symbolism. Anyway, so this is from Rick getting injured and then pulling himself back up on the horse. There's another image later on that I think connects to this moment. This moment is, and we're going to see it in full later on as well, but this moment is also a hallucination moment that's recreating a comic book cover that is my all-time favorite cover. I'm going to show you right now. I have this puppy right here. This is the variant cover to issue 100. This is when they introduced Negan, and then Glenn was killed in this. One of the best covers. It has all the dead bodies, and it's only dead bodies. On the show, it appears to be dead and living, but it's for example, Tyrese here, Amy's here. You can see a lot of characters up and down here. I can't really see because the screen is small, but I did a video covering this, so if you are curious about the cover in the comic book and all, like here's the governor, Laurie's here, here's baby Judith in the comic, she's dead, here's Shane, Laurie is down here, yeah, Laurie's right there. So you can watch the video and I break down this cover because there's a lot of bodies on this cover that are hidden, and it's a badass cover. But anyway, they recreate that here with his hallucination, and we're going to come back to this because they show another scene, another moment. Look at Carol's right here, actually, so it isn't just people that are dead. It will be the dead and the living, which is an incredible, haunting image. I love it. So after Rick, when episode 5 starts, it appears like we're going to have Rick in the hospital. And I love how they recreated the season 1 look. That is amazing. Rick's in the hospital and he's telling himself to wake up. He's like, dude, you got to wake up now. They show a weird shot of CGI helicopters coming to the camera. We'll get into that in a minute, but towards his point of view. And I don't want to spoil it here in case you didn't see it, but go watch it. It's interesting. The old Rick and the new Rick talk back and forth just briefly, and then he wakes up, and that's when he pulls himself off of the rebarb. Now, again, this scene, I think they're playing it all jumbled. When he enters Atlanta in his hallucination, he's going to come up the same path he did in season 1, except for somewhere along the lines, this is going to change. Right here is Shane in the cop car. So he's going to enter Atlanta, and he's going to see Shane, maybe get off the horse and sit down with Shane, and then his vision's going to go back to when he was shot. And again, we'll showcase that differently because it's all chopped up here. And I'm really hoping this is actually Michonne, real-life Michonne, not a hallucination. I do want some final moments with characters. And she's saying we don't die here. And again, I just want this to be a real moment, not a hallucination. It's looking like it might be a hallucination because Michonne is dealing with Negan and Maggie. So this is rough here. Now, here is him in real life, Lauren the Walker herd. Here's him back in the hospital before he wakes up. And this is an image that has me baffled. And I'll tell you a number of reasons why. Because originally I thought, okay, he's luring the herd away. He's having all these hallucinations, which touches back with season 1. Incredible visuals. And he's back in the hospital. We'll get to that in a second. But and just because of the way this trailer's chopped up. But at the end, he finally realizes Daryl told him in this moment in last episode, and I apologize, it's all messed up. Amazon's not loading for me properly, but Daryl tells him this.
The river. Take him to the bridge. It ain't ever gonna hold him. He'll get washed out to sea.
No, man, I'm not sacrificing the bridge. I'll find another.
So Daryl wants him to take the herd over the bridge. The bridge won't hold because of the weight. The bridge will crumble, and Rick obviously makes it past, and then the walkers crumble underneath. And then I pictured a couple lingering walkers would be here, and everyone would come running like this. Everyone comes running over to help kill the last few walkers, and they get a wounded Rick Grimes. And now we have a goodbye with Daryl and his crew. You know what I'm saying? But what throws me off is Carol was in a blue shirt the last we saw her, so how much time is passing? And I mean Carol was in a blue shirt right before Rick rode off on the horse. So maybe she killed some saviors, got blood on her, she changes her shirt. Something's not adding up. I don't think he would bleed out a whole day, you know what I mean? And then he gets there the next day. Because keep in mind, we don't know what happened with the saviors. And here's the Arrow girl, Diana's her name. She went with Maggie to Alexandria. Did she veer off and go to the campsite and Maggie went alone to Alexandria? Or is Maggie, the Arrow girl, and Michonne actually at the campsite? And with Negan, I'm guessing, Negan bashed his face in, and he's just ready to die, and he's, like, done with it. And Maggie comes in to kill him, and he's just leaking blood, and he's like, just do it. And then he goes into this intense speech about everything that's been eaten away at him, about killing Glenn, and it being a mistake, and he's just, repulsed at himself, or whatever they're going to write, because they need Maggie to be like, listen, I'm not doing this, and then back away from that. She can't go through with it. Anyhow, so that's what I'm thinking. The bridge thing has me weirded out because if this is the whole construction site, how are they running through it if... I don't get that unless there's two parts to it where you have a construction site here and then down here off screen is another part which would be these railings and such. I'll have to take a closer look at that and see if some of it makes sense, because now that I'm looking at it, see this wire here? This is a steel bar going up. And then if you look here, this is a steel bar going up. So it's got to, right here, there's got to be two steel bars where they are running. So it's possible that, no, see, here's a steel bar. Yeah, and there's not, I don't know, there kind of is one here. So this doesn't make much sense unless, again, I'm not gonna get stuck on the bridge part. You guys give me your thoughts and opinions down below. I'll take another look at it, but I'm so confused how that's gonna work unless it's actually bigger than what we're seeing here. Anyway, so my idea is Rick crosses the bridge and then the herd of walkers falls into and gets washed out. I love this. Those are those murder of crows, or flock of crows they call them, and Rick is in the hospital with his season 1 self. Here's just Rick leading the herd away. This is the shot we had in the trailer with a really bloody Rick. We knew he was going to get popped on the side. And like I said, remember he was going into Atlanta in his hallucination. He sees Shane, gets off the horse, or just appears in the car talking to Shane. I can't wait for this moment. We might get, because again, it's his hallucinations, so we could either get a Shane that is aggressive or a Shane that is his best friend again from season 1 again. There could be a breakdown moment like, damn, I lost my shit, yada yada yada, I'm proud of you, this, that, and the third. Who knows where it's gonna go with that? But like I said, the hallucination is going back to when the car flipped over and he got shot. And yes, his wound does appear to be a callback to his wound in season 1. However, a lot of you guys know from my deeper dive videos, that's actually a mistake. His wound isn't in the side, it's actually right here. This is his real wound. It's under his left armpit. I did a video breaking this all down, how his death connects to season 1, and it was a prediction that I think it's one of my best predictions, because without spoilers and without too many clues besides the trailer, I was on point, which I'm really proud at, because I made this prediction kind of based on what I would like to see based on the writing style. So since it's coming, you know, true, it's something that I would like to see, so I'm extra hyped. Anyway, if you look at the wound here, he got popped, and that's right under, this is his back, that's right under his back left armpit. You know what I'm saying? Somehow in the filming, they made the mistake, and they had his wound on his belly right here. And I did a whole video breaking this down, not just the wound, but also his death and how it connects to season 1. And if you want to watch that older video, I'll put the link down in that video description for that. But again, here's Rick bleeding out, luring the herd away. And when he gets to Atlanta, he's going to go from his hospital bed, and he's going to start Hallucination leaving his hospital bed as the season 9 Rick. And this part I love, because someone in the chat told me it says, don't open dead outside instead of inside. And I love this, because I do believe he's going to go through these doors, dead outside these doors. And is that what it says for sure? It's got to be what it says. And we're going to get this moment here. Let me try to see. This is the water, I'd imagine. This is some type of overflow from the bridge or that levee they had set up. But again, I want to go dive in deep, but I don't want to go too deep with the predictions. But this is it. I think Rick's going to go through those doors. Obviously, don't open dead outside. And he's just walking through this whole field of dead bodies. And I'm sure if you take a close look, I mean, just a quick glance, that could be Aaron maybe. I'm sure there's people in here that we can point out and we know who they are. Is that Lenny from one of the claimers? This is going to be fun to go through, and I really hope they show people with distinctive looks from previous seasons. They might not want to show them in the trailer, though, so we might get it in different images. But this is amazing. I love this. I want this as a poster. Oh, my God. That is incredible. That is incredible. I love that so much. I remember making that prediction video and going, I don't see how AMC's going to do it unless they do a hill and they put like Rick on top of the hill, like a real life hill, and have CGI and real life dead bodies. Real characters playing the dead bodies and laying on the side of the hill so Rick can be walking. But they did it 10 times better than I thought they would. Man, look, I love this shit. I am so hyped. This is unreal, unfriggin' real. So there's just a lot to, it seems like there's a lot going on here, but it also seems like it's pretty simplistic in a certain way. You can tell some of the errors in the CGI. This looks pretty whack here. This looks a little off, but again, I'm not being nitpicky. I frickin' love this. I guess the longer you look at it, the more you'll see some errors, but that just kind of stands out to me. Maybe it's just the way the camera's going down. Anyway, is that me? AMC's sending me subtle threats. Anyhow, like I said, it seems like there's a lot going on, but it also seems a little somewhat simplistic. He fell off the horse, he got severely wounded, and then he's going to be taking this herd away from the group, but he's bleeding out, losing consciousness because he's hallucinating as he's losing consciousness, and he knows this, and he can't take the herd away. He's gonna fail. He has to turn around, and he has to take the herd over the bridge. That would at least connect the dead Rick Grimes with our gang again, so they can see him die, and there's some closure there within the storyline. I know there's these huge hints of the helicopter. Yes, there is a chance they can use Jadis and her helicopter story, because she could be coming back to the campsite. It does look like she left her image, her her painting there of Gabriel's friend in the tent. That image we saw in the trailer as well, but it does look like There's definitely setup to either mislead us with the helicopter, or there's real setup that Rick's story will end open-ended, like where he goes off in the helicopter. Now, there's going to be a time skip between episode 5 and episode 6 of a few years. It's either 5 and 6 or 6 and 7, but I'm almost sure it's going to be after Rick dies. Of a few years. We're talking 3, 4, 5 years, because they're aging the Henry character a few years, so that's a huge hint. So if there's Rick with an open-ended death, and he goes off, and they have this time skip of a few years, it's probably going to be concrete that he's dead to our characters. If he doesn't return in a few months, and he's not healed, a few years, it's going to be official to them. Rick died somehow. I don't know if they want to do that, leave that without any closure, but you guys leave your thoughts and opinions down in that comment box, and you let me know what do you think is going to happen with Rick and gang. I think it is pretty that simple, with some surprises hidden in there. I really hope this scene is real with Rick coming back to the gang, like I said, because I do want that closure with him and the characters. And damn, I'm not ready for it. How about you? Thoughts and opinions down in that comment box. There's a lot more coming. Stay tuned for the Deeper Into The Walking Dead episode 904. I know I'll probably have some big epic special for Deeper Into 905. If it's really symbolic of an episode, man, that might be a two-parter. That really might be a two-parter. So thoughts and opinions down in that comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn.